You're listening to Limitless Leaders Podcast. Accelerate your mindset, collaboration and performance by developing limitless self-leadership, leaders, teams and organizations. Now, over to your host, Renee Giarrusso.
Hi, and welcome to the Limitless Leaders Podcast. I cannot believe it's less than 6 weeks to go until we reach Christmas. What a year it's been. It's been an amazing year, pretty full on, but amazing. We've really proud of the year we've had. We've started with a lot of new clients, won our second and third book award for Gift Mindset this year. And that's also being translated and published in Vietnam, which is super exciting. I wanted just to touch base today and do just a 15-minute solo show and just have a look at, where the year's gone. And I guess a lot of people have been reaching out to me, especially clients, saying they're feeling overwhelmed, bit demotivated, burnt out almost. And I thought I might just share a few strategies to help keep you energized until the end of the year. And also, just to be able to take that back into your workplace, your team, and your life. I recently did a 4-day silent meditation retreat, and I really needed that. Being I'm not a still person or a silent person, and I really felt I couldn't even look at what next year was what we were planning for next year. I felt physically sick. And I was telling a leader that I work with, and she said, I'm feeling exactly the same. And that's why I took what I call a pause. And as challenging as it was an amazing experience. I had 4 days of basically 8 hours a day of unguided meditation, an hour and a half of yoga, and no talking. And what I learned from that is just how important it is to sometimes be mindful and still. As challenging as it is for someone like me, it just taught me the power of stillness and how much we can connect, with others without talking, just eye contact, smiling, and nonverbal cues. It also taught me that a lot of what we think about, we tend to just share and download and not take the time to sit with it. And being still allows that. And I think that's something that's really worth bringing in. If you're feeling like you just need to top up your energy to get to the end of the year, think about what being mindful is for you. Just taking some time to pause. For me, and I've mentioned it many times, it's cooking. Cooking for me, I just zone out, or being out with nature. A really good tip too is to get out in nature. Our brains actually can't comprehend the complexity of nature. So our mind actually sort of switches off when we're at the beach or when we're out in nature, even in a park. And you'll notice that when you are out in nature, you always feel a bit better, but you don't really know why, and that's why. So there's a lot of research that's been done, and those in Japan would know there's forest bathing, which is all about that. So even if you've got a lot going on, and we all do, getting out in nature, just having that 10-minute walk to the park, leave your phone at home, just go and have that walk. If you're in the office, there's always nature around us, so really important. We need to stay re-energized, and I've been talking a lot about FOMO, so fear of missing out on life. And I think there's a lot of us, including me, that are trying to catch up on so many things that we missed during the pandemic, especially those in Melbourne, like myself, that were literally locked. I was locked up in my office and studio for 2 years. So we're trying to fit more in, but we've also got the commute time to work. We've also got, all those friends that want to catch up, and family. We want to travel. There's so much going on. So there's no wonder that people are feeling a bit burnt out. So, the first thing I want to speak to you about is obviously get out in nature. We've talked about that. Really important. Take some time to practice mindfulness, and know what that is for you. What's something you do that doesn't take a lot of effort, and you can just be in the moment? Ensure you're doing what lights you up. And I actually feel like I just preach this, but I live it and I believe it. Do what lights you up. So know the things that give you energy, know the things that give you a pep in your step, and do those as often as you can in and out of work. So I know for work for me, what lights me up more than anything is being with my clients, helping them realize and achieve what's possible for them as a leader, and also doing that with their teams. That lights me up. Coaching, running workshops, being in a room or running it virtually, speaking off a stage, they're the things that give me the most energy. I love doing the writing and the thinking and everything else behind the scenes. But I notice if I'm not out with clients, every second day, I actually get a bit flat. That's where I get my energy and give my energy. So know what that is for you in and out of work. Practice gratitude. I talk about this a lot, the gift of gratitude. Gratitude helps us focus on what we do have, not what we don't have. So when we can feel a bit down and out or a bit demotivated, just sitting down, and whether you journal it, talk about it, verbalize it with someone that you trust, knowing what we're grateful for really helps us live in the moment and focus on what we do have. And that can bring your energy up as well. Exercising and sleeping, it's known now you're better off going for a 15-minute walk than having a quick cat nap. So we all get time poor. I get it. But remember, time management's a myth. It's all about self-management. So pick up the phone and do a walk and talk for 15 minutes. You're getting exercise, you're getting out in nature, you're getting fresh air. And I promise you the conversation will be a lot more organic as well. Sleep well, easier said than done sometimes. So, blue light, we shouldn't be around screens at least 3 hours before we go to bed. And I know that can sometimes be challenging if we're working late, but where you can go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time, and really minimize your exposure to blue light. Sleep deprivation, I'm not going to go into all the studies, but really has an effect on our well-being in every way. I know if I'm sleep deprived, the smallest thing can be amplified. But have a good night's sleep, and it's almost like your mindset changes. The last one I want to give you is get grounded. And what I mean by this is get outside, as I've mentioned before, take your shoes off, walk on the grass, walk on the sand. Doesn't matter. This really does realign us with the earth. This stuff's not woo-woo. Those that know me know I have been into spirituality and all of these amazing things for probably since I was a teenager. So what happens, we get a lot of Wi-Fi, electrical currents in our offices and homes, especially if you live in high rise. And it gives us a lot of like these, it's in the air. There's an electricity that's positive. We need negative. And the negative comes from the earth. So just if you can go and do your 15-minute walk in the park on the grass, amazing. So there's a few things there, but I just think it's really important now to know to re-energize, because I don't want you, if you're listening out there, to get to your Christmas break and be totally exhausted and get sick and not enjoy the break and then come back to work. It's not worth it. So there's just some little tips there. Make sure you're diarising me time. So actually put the time for a massage or the time with a friend or the time just to read a book out on the grass. Put that in your diary, because we diarise things with other people. We don't diarise things with ourselves. And I think that's an issue, really. So it comes back to that self-love and that self-respect. And take some time to plan the unplanned. I know that sounds a bit strange, but plan the unplanned. If you're going to have a weekend where you don't have plans, or a night that you're not going to plan anything, you need to plan for that. So it might be with your partner, with your family, saying next weekend we're going to do what we feel like doing when we feel like doing it, and keeping that space open to do that. I did that the other weekend with my hubby. Things filled up, but we had choices. Not everything was locked in, because we know when things are locked in back to back, it feels like time goes faster and your weekend's gone. So a few tips there that you can take away. And I think also, I love what I do. I really do. Sunday nights, I'm actually quite excited to go to work on Monday because I'm passionate about it and I'm on purpose. So just make sure where you can that Monday mornings you're doing the things that light you up, because that sets the tone for the week. And then on Friday, finish off doing something that you really love as well. I sort of call them energizing bookends of the week. If you start the week doing something you love that excites you and energizes you, and you end the week doing that, by Sunday night, you've left the week feeling happy and you're going into something that lights you up. So a few tips there. As always, I'd love to get feedback on anything that's, that you do for you that works. But I think it's just getting balance across, what things I've mentioned will work for you. They all won't. There'll be certain things. And I always say, pick the easy one first, get some of that energy back, motivation back, so that you can really enjoy Christmas. And be productive, happy, and fulfilled in your role in your business as a leader in your team. It doesn't matter what you do. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Really looking forward to seeing how this works for you. Thanks again for listening to the Limitless Leaders podcast. We've got some really exciting guests coming up in the next few episodes. And as always, feel free to look at our past episodes. We've been going now 2.5 years, and I've interviewed some amazing guests, from CEOs to top-selling authors to people that have started their business from scratch. So lots of sharing of experiences from people from all walks of life around leadership, communication, purpose, well-being, and mindset. So thanks for listening, and look forward to sharing with you again soon.
You've been listening to Limitless Leaders Podcast, leading from the inside out to develop limitless self-leadership, leaders, teams, and organizations. To find out how you can accelerate your mindset, your communication, collaboration, and connection to become a limitless leader, sign up for our Limitless Leaders Podcast series at www.reneegiarrusso.com/podcast series. That's reneegiarrusso.com/podcast series.